Namo Fazil just lost to Kai Brito at the UFC Contender Series. And honestly, Namo Fazil, we need to talk. Namo Fazil got knocked out at the very last round by like a crazy overhand right. And Namo Fazil was having a lot of success at the whole entire fight. But the issue obviously came down to the fact that Kai Brito was using a lot of movement, and when he was using his signature punch where he would step in and throw that right hand. And what made this knockout from Namo Fazil really interesting was the fact that literally Kai Brito threw his whole body to that overhand right. And Namo Fazil, you could see it in the fight. He saw that punch coming a mile away. But what made this punch different was you could literally see it off of his foot. He was like almost like off of the canvas. He was almost off his feet. He used all his range, his whole body to extend that final punch that made Namo Fazil get knocked out. And honestly, I'm happy for this. I wanted Namo Fazil to win, but I thought this to myself before this fight even happened, before this fight even started. I thought to myself, okay, Namo Fazil gets the UFC contract, he beats Brito, he makes a statement, whatever, right? This was the best case scenario for me because I genuinely felt Namo Fazil could have won. But I thought to myself, okay, Namo Fazil gets this contract and then it's like, then what? He beats a couple of contenders, hopefully, and then he gets into the top 10, hopefully. He gets through like, I don't know, maybe like a Randy Brown or something. And it's like, bro, there's a bunch of flipping killers at 170. And then it's like, then what? He's gonna go ahead and fight flipping Sean Brady. He's gonna go fight Gabriel Bonfim. He's gonna go fight Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, Ian Gary, Islam Makhachev. No disrespect to Namo Fazil because I love him. I love the Curtis brother. I like the Curtis Power, grandson of Saladin Hussein. I love him. But if we had to be realistic, for me, I don't think Namo Fazil could have hanged out with the guys at the welterweight division. And keep in mind, folks, honestly, I thought that Namo Fazil was a lightweight for whatever reason, because obviously, whenever Namo Fazil had his little altercation with Arman Tsarukyan after he beat that one guy at the MVP Netflix MMA fight, but whenever I soon to realize that Namo Fazil is a 170-pound fighter, and weirdly enough, he's 5'11". And I know that in the welterweight division, there's high-level guys that are like 5'10", 5'11", like Sean Brady or Joaquin Buckley or Bilal Muhammad or Jack Madalena. But seeing the performance from Namo Fazil against Kai Brito really changed my mind about how Namo Fazil will actually stand with these welterweights at the UFC. And the unfortunate truth is, he would get slammed out of 170. No disrespect. Namo Fazil, in a weird way, kind of reminds me of like Jack Madalena. They both have this very similar style where they always like to shell up. They rely a lot on their boxing, and that's really it. To kind of further prove my point, if you look at the Carlos Prates fight, whenever Madalena fought him, Madalena's biggest downfall was he was just not moving as much. He didn't really bother defending leg kicks, and he was just too stuck on his feet. And as you know, with Carlos Prates, in order to beat Carlos Prates, you have to use a lot of movement, like Ian Gary did. He used a little bit of wrestling. He mixed it up. He was moving a lot, which made Carlos Prates not even throw a single punch in that fight. And if you even look at the Jeff Neal fight, Jeff Neal had a lot of success in the beginning of the fight because he was actually like using feints and moving around. And if you were to put Namo Fazil against a lot of these guys, like Prates or Morales or Ian Gare or Islam Makhachev, he would get smoked simply because he just doesn't have that movement. He just kind of has that movement like Madalena. He's stuck on his feet, pushes forward, pushes you with pressure, and uses a lot of jabs and feints. But other than that, whenever you put him against a guy like Carlos Prates, who's just a precise power puncher, you put him against Ian Gare, who's a mover, he's gonna struggle. We saw that. So honestly, I'm glad that Namo Fazil got knocked out. Not because I hate him or anything. It's just that this is a learning lesson for him that I hope he overcomes, because whenever he fought against someone that was a mover, he struggled. Realistically, if we were to look at all the welterweights at the top 10, I feel like Namo Fazil will get beat by all of them, other than maybe like Joaquin Buckley and maybe Jack Madalena. I feel like if you were to put Namo Fazil against like Madalena, I think he maybe actually beats Madalena because they have such a similar style. I think I would lean towards more so with Namo Fazil because he has the better takedown defense, because I feel like Madalena, he's going to feel the counter punch, he's going to feel the right hand that Namo Fazil likes to throw, the counter left hooks. He's gonna feel that, and he wants to try to take down Namo Fazil. Namo Fazil, for me, he's pretty like overall a great fighter. Like there's nothing for me that really like makes my eyes pop out of my face, you know? Like I feel like Namo Fazil, he could submit you, he could take you down. Even though I feel like we never really seen him go for a takedown, he more so as a stand-up fighter. He has good striking, but I think what makes Namo Fazil different is he uses a lot of counter punching. He uses a lot of feints. He tries to use his punch punches to get close to you. But overall, in reality, I don't think Namo Fazil could have held up with these welterweights. They're just too big. Some of these guys have a lot of movement, which is Namo Fazil's weakness, which we saw in the Burrito fight, unfortunately. And weirdly enough, this performance was probably worse than the Ilia Topuria fight with Justin Gaethje. You know, because Ilia Topuria, he was on top. He was the big dog. He was the trash talker. And he ran into Justin Gaethje and he lost in front of all of the White House. People were clowning on Ilia Topuria, whatever. But with Namo Fazil, even though he doesn't have half the followers, half the influence like Ilia Topuria, for whatever reason, all of Russia just came on to attack this guy. Like Islam Dulatov, some of the guys from Hamzat's camp, and even one of Hamzat's teammates, Namo Fazil, which Namo Fazil fought and knocked out. He even came on social media mocking him and disrespecting his knockout loss. It seemed like whenever this guy lost, it just seemed like the whole world was just cheering on for this guy's downfall. And then there's another thing that's interesting about Namo Fazil. Despite him not even having like 1 million followers on Instagram, this guy has a strong community. You notice that. I saw that in the MVP card whenever he fought that one guy. It just seemed like a lot of people were supporting him and cheering him on. So just imagine what this guy's gonna be like in 2 years whenever he does have another chance to go to the UFC and go to top 10, go to top 5, maybe even become a champion, hopefully. This guy's gonna have a flippin' army like K-pop, like BTS or something, like Sabrina Carpenter, like Beyonce. This guy's gonna have a stronger fan base in 1 or 2 years, mark my words. And Namo Fazil, Kurdish brother, you will come back and humble everybody.